Yeah.
How do we get this thing on there 5 days a week?
I don't know, but it's getting better. You're in color, which is good
I'm
for this.
living color. Yeah, mostly red face.
The 24th of June. How are you doing?
I boy, this is the
Did you?
first time I almost overslept.
Oh,
I looked up and it was 23 minutes after 9 a.m. I was fast asleep.
well, that's good, isn't it?
It is. It is. I stanched down the panic because I wasn't awake yet, which is part of the daily challenge I have. Jumped in a shower,
I'm sorry.
which
Could you?
woke
I,
me
I
up.
don't mean to be rude, but go back to that again. It's the morning because you feel
You see,
off, out
well,
of
for
sorts when you
years,
awake.
you will
Ken?
recognize this. Yeah. Well, what I feel is not awake. And for years, you remember this when you do early morning radio and you wake up early, your heart is pumping at about 600
Yep.
RPMs,
Yep.
but your brain hasn't shifted in yet.
Right.
But what it shifts to is fear and panic because I'm not awake, I'm not awake, I'm not awake, I'm not awake.
Oh, okay.
So you start going at you brush your teeth in 4 seconds, you take a shower, you run to the car, you clean off the car if it's winter time and you haven't put it in the garage. Uh, so your heart is pounding, pounding every morning, 5 days a week. And by the time you get to the station and put coffee, which you need, into your system, you're pretty much a blithering idiot.
So you're still experiencing these
Every
symptoms.
once in a while, yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And but I have learned through psychologists, a good analyst over the years, and yes, medication to stanch that down. It is more analyst and the tricks I've learned. Tricks. I hate to give it such a anodyne name, but they are tricks that your body and
Because
your
yeah,
mind
it's
works
your
together.
it's chemicals and your
Oh,
brain, and it's about
yeah, it's
routine, and
DNA.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
about
yeah,
experience.
yeah.
Experience. Don't downplay it one way or the other. It'll affect you for much of your life. And see, I'm not like you. Well, you trained yourself. I've always been a night person, and that's the one I still have. I have to fight.
Well, that's the
I'm a
key
night
word. It's about
person.
training yourself and getting, and what I stick to rigidly is a routine, and I force myself into each section because I know that coming out the other end, I will feel better for it by the time a certain portion of my routine has been done. So that's how I
Yeah,
get through
well,
them.
and we kid you about it that you're very anal, but actually, you've to keep to that regimen takes something I've never had, and that is what's the word? I can just do it one day, perfect, great, makes me feel good. The next day, I don't know. You
Yeah,
know what?
it's
I fall into that very easily. And now, of course, I can't think of the word, but it is being able to stick to that regimen that I find ragged and difficult.
yeah, and that's
Disciplined,
something.
disciplined,
Discipline is,
disciplined.
yeah, that is a word for it, but it's something where you
Because
have
there have
to.
got to be mornings when you do wake up at
Oh
five
yeah.
after five and say, screw
Oh
this.
yes. Yep. Yep. And that those are hard, and then you have to say, all right, then I have to think of my next task, and I know something has to be done, and this is why I'm so focused on work too, because I have deadlines, I have things that need to be done,
Yeah,
so that
yeah.
pulls me
See, I
into
don't have
another
that anymore
direction.
either.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I mean, you
So,
got to get it done. You need to pay the bills with that. It was the same thing with doing the morning show when it was 5 days a week or 2 days a week. Hey, you don't show up and turn on the mic, you're gonna have dead
that's
air
it.
and a letter from the producer that
That's it.
afternoon.
Yeah, no, I understand all of that. Janet has just joined us. Janet Torge is in the waiting room.
Well, I certainly hope she has something to say for a
Well, I'm
change.
sure she does.
God damn it,
I've
Torge, speak up.
got a bit of a rant to go into before we speak with her, and this it has to do with something.
Is it about package delivery?
It was going to be, but I'm going to save that for Friday. I'm going to start with this now. The members of the Irish community, you may have heard about this, are not terribly pleased with the fact that the
Well, is
mayor
that
of
a fait
Montreal.
accompli?
Yeah, according to the city of Montreal, they're going ahead with
Oh,
calling the
crap.
Griffintown rail station and adding the name of Bernard Landry to it, former
This
premier.
is the
Now,
stupidest thing
it
I've
is stupid,
ever
and
seen.
I'm saying this in all due respect to the Irish community and to the family of Monsieur Landry. As far as I know, the family of Bernard Landry did not ask for this, and the city
No,
of Montreal.
they're very quiet, not seeking publicity type
No,
of
no,
family.
they didn't ask for this, and your tiny perfect mayor went ahead and did this on her own, apparently, or
Does she
following some.
know the geography of her own
I
city?
don't think so, and I'm not going to get into that now. But this is ridiculous. And Griffintown is Griffintown, and leave it the hell alone. And we won't get into
Well, the
the
more
whole
appropriate
history.
one is the one they're signing the petition for
Yeah,
for
you're way
Oscar
ahead of me.
Peterson.
You're way ahead of me. And I also let me not skip over the word for the day, and this applies to your tiny perfect mayor, pusillanimous, lacking courage and resolution, marked by contemptible timidity. I love that contemptible timidity. Really, don't do that. If you're going to write something, as in RIGHT, do something like this. And there's a petition going around to have Lionel Gru Metro Station named after Oscar Peterson, and
Which is
I
fine by me.
have
Lionel
signed it.
Gru
Have
was an
and,
anti-Semite, a
and
horrid
Mr.
little
Gru,
man.
there you go. You jumped right into it. I wasn't going to get into it. If you read a little bit about Lionel Gru, and again, this is a matter. There's rewriting history and then making things right. And if you want to read up about 99% of the people in Montreal don't know who Lionel Gru was, read up a little bit. And again, not out of spite, out of right, all right, GHT, move in this direction. This makes much more sense. Again, Mr.
Yeah.
Peterson. Mr. Peterson, I did not know. I know that his niece, you and I worked with Sylvia Sweeney, who did a documentary on him in 1992. In the Key of Oscar was the name of that doc. If you get to see it, it's worthwhile. I did not know this gentleman. I am among the millions who are fans of his. But I have a feeling, and to this day still have a feeling, that he died. He left us an angry man, a disappointed man, disappointed in his country, in the way he was treated, in many different respects. And again, won't spend an hour or two talking about that, but this would be a tremendous way of writing things, RIGHT, in naming a metro station, anything of worth after Mr. Peterson, I think, is a very good idea. So
His
there you go.
sister taught Oliver Jones, gave Oliver Jones
Yep.
piano lessons.
Yep. And we could go on and on about Oscar Peterson, but
And he ended up
anyways,
living in Mississauga and died in Toronto.
sign the petition. You'll find the link in the video description. There was a piece in the Gazette this morning about it too. And if the city of Montreal has any brains, and if your tiny little perfect mayor could spend more time paying attention to more interesting things like not pissing off restaurant owners and keeping people alive in the city, we would be further ahead. There's my rant for today.
Well, good for you.
Okay.
It's a worthwhile rant. The petition started going around a little while ago. I've got a friend of mine on Facebook, Sharon Hyman, who
Someone in your
mentioned it.
family signed it this morning.
Ah,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Saw the name go.
I will not ask.
Saw the name go by. Yes.
But I love most of them.
Yeah. And they, well, they kind
That's
of
mixed.
they
Yeah,
tolerate
they take a poll every
they
year.
tolerate
Yeah.
you. So we'll just
Yeah, a
see
lot of
how that
abstentions.
goes.
A lot of abstentions.
Let's just see if we can get Janet Torge online here. We have not, I don't know about you, but I have not seen Janet in many years. You and I worked with her
No.
at CBC.
No, I haven't seen it for
I
ages.
worked with her in private radio, and I'm trying to get her connected here now. And I think,
Oh, Janet's
we
got a
may-
great story about doing the phone-in on CBC
we
one
may
summer
have,
day.
a
Maybe she
connection.
can tell us.
She has done many things. She's a writer, a documentary worker, a producer. I did not know this. She co-founded the first. Oh my goodness! Yes,
She looks thrilled to be
Oh
here.
my God.
your microphone is. Oh my God!
There
Look at this.
you are.
Turn on your mic.
Oh, you can
Oh, it
hear
is on.
I can just.
Okay, unfreeze, Yvonne.
I love
unfreeze.
I love
can't
the
hear you.
look.
Hold it.
The first look we
What do
got
you
of
mean,
you.
the look?
Oh, well, you were like this.
Oh, you haven't seen,
It's the.
you
As
haven't
if to
seen
say-
me with white hair.
That
No, no, no.
asshole Trump did it again.
I'm not sure why we're getting a microphone
Come
icon.
on.
How are you doing,
Oh,
Janet?
yeah.
How are you?
How How am I doing? Let's
Yep.
see. My back is out. I've moved to the country during COVID, and I probably gained 100 pounds. Other
Okay.
than that, I'm perfect.
Oh, good.
Okay, I told you she'd suffer in silence.
Okay. Where
Never.
where do we begin, Janet? Because we haven't seen you in such a long time. You've done so many things since we've seen you. What have you been up to in
Well,
recent
it's what
months?
I do. So many
Okay.
things.
Yeah. Is the Radical Rest Homes project still going?
Oh, it's going very well. At the end of this month, next week, in fact, we'll find out whether we've got a huge amount of money from the CMHC, Canada Mortgage and Housing. So that will actually launch the thing. And like I've been giving speeches and writing and, you know, just carrying on the way I usually do about this. And so, you know, I think we've got a pretty good chance, especially given what happened with COVID. What we're doing is like COVID just wouldn't happen. Like all those deaths wouldn't happen if Radical Rest Homes had been around. So it's good. It's good.
Tell us more
They
about
just have to give us money.
Yeah. Well, tell us more about the
about the
project,
philosophy of it.
please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the idea, there are a couple of ideas. First off, when you get old, you don't have to be managed. That's the first thing. Like, you don't have to be institutionalized and just, you know, put out to pasture. So, and you shouldn't be in these huge towers, these institutions like prisons, in the sense that it's an artificial atmosphere. So you don't have, like, you don't see other ages of people, you don't see people walking. I mean, it's just, it's horrible. So anyway, so the idea is that we take over large sort of heritage houses or mansions in the city, and we fill them with a few seniors and then some young people or families to live together. So that what you get is, you get the seniors sort of mentoring younger people. You get younger people sort of having a place to live and living with people who share their ideas. So business leaders live with young entrepreneurs. Older artists live with young artists, and they mentor each other. And then the other thing is that when people like us, me, get older, you share the caretaking. So I would, if I got sick, I would have access to help from all the other people that live in the house, all their friends and family who comes to visit. So you're not using the medical establishment for every little thing that goes wrong. So it's just, it's affordable. It makes more sense. So that's basically it. Can you see it in your head? Can you see it?
Yes,
Would you
no, it's
move
the
there?
multi-generational home, and what we have now for seniors is a form of segregation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, literally, we just put them into institutions and hope their families come to visit every now and then. That's it.
Has this
It doesn't work.
Has this COVID thing been a bit of a wake-up call here to those who have been watching you sort of putter away with this for a couple of years?
Well, here's the problem. One of the difficulties that we're having getting funding for this is because it's smaller groups and it's innovative. And one thing that the government doesn't like is taking risks with their money. So they always give the money to the developers because they know the developers and the developers know what to do. And they see all these boomers coming down the pike, thousands of us, a tsunami of seniors, And here I am saying, let's put them in small little things. And they don't want to do that. They want large projects that will like take care of all of us at the same time. So that's where we've had problems. Now, with the pandemic and what's happening, they should be listening to us, but I have no idea. They love the project, but whether they'll put their money there, I don't know.
Well,
You mentioned the CMHC. Is there something maybe in the works, in the pipeline somewhere, or are you still discussing and having to do pitches and PowerPoints?
No. We put in an application. They ask us to put in an application. We put in the application. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
I mean, it's just, yeah.
And
anyway,
it was called,
that's the way of the world.
Go ahead.
I didn't hear that.
Well, I was just wondering.
No, I'm just saying that if they don't give us, wow, Jesus, it's your turn. I'm not saying anything.
I told you we couldn't deal with her. I told you we couldn't deal with her. I'm the troublesome one.
It's true.
Janet, for so many years, so long, and it's not unique to Montreal, they've been giving to these bloody developers. I think I may use bloody. They do it over and over and over again. It's almost Pavlovian. They don't even think, okay, we're going to give it. And the guy builds a 60-story tower that no person over 65, unless they are, retiring from banks, is going to be able to afford. You're building silos and you're discriminating based on age and ability to pay. But they do it, they keep doing it.
but they don't get it.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, Yvonne says it's true. They don't get it. They don't want to get it.
Well, yeah, because they, they look at somebody like me coming in with a project. I've been doing this for like 6 or 7 years. It's ridiculous. And they're not used to giving their money to anybody who doesn't have money. It really comes down to that.
That's
so,
the old story.
I mean, if we don't get the money, you will hear me on every radio and TV station I can find who will let me rant. And then maybe something will happen.
Radical Rest Homes is the name of the project. I'll link the website in the video description. Good luck to you, because if there's a wake-up call out there, this is it, isn't it? Here we have to start making some serious changes.
Yeah.
And as you say, there's a whole lot of us heading for that. Whole lot of lemmings going over that cliff here pretty damn soon.
That's right, Yvonne. A whole lot of you.
Yeah,
and the other thing is, and we laugh at home for you. You're born in the States, but the rubbing of shoulders. They won't give it without money. But this politician knows this developer, and that developer knows this politician, ever thus, and it's not unique to the United States or Canada for that matter, to do the right thing, to build smart cities.
No, I mean, no. Yeah, I know. That's exactly how it works. Anyway, me, I won't stop until I get something. So.
Well,
I gotta ask you that if I can change this. Can I change the subject, Yvonne?
Sure, please do.
Janet, can I change the subject, darling? You told me the famous time.
Yes, you may.
You told me when you were doing summer fill-in on Radio Noon, you had the distinct, and I think it is still unique honor of having a phone-in with no callers. Was that Radio Noon or late night at CFCF? Yeah.
No, late night at CFCF, there would always be callers, but Radio Noon, I had no callers. There was something wrong with the phone line.
Oh, is that what the problem was?
And I refused to do music. I would not let them do music. And so I played both parts. I said, if someone called in and asked me this question, this is what I would say. And I did it for a full hour. They had everybody on the 16th floor listening to it. They said, I think she's still doing it.
What was the topic?
God love you.
What was the topic?
Summer camp for kids.
Oh, gosh. Look, lady, they've left. I don't want to talk. I've got beer in the fridge. I don't want to talk about it. You are a caution.
You are a card. So you were answering yourself about poison ivy and packing cookies and
All of those things.
Oh my
Getting along, having no kids in the house if you're a parent. It's not like
I wish they were recording of
it
that
went
line.
off into many, many places.
Oh,
And the brain drain up on the 16th was listening to all
the
this,
brain
right?
drain indeed. God.
Oh my God. It was like they weren't doing any work. Like they'd never seen anything like it.
Where was your first radio job, Janet?
My first radio job was at CFCF.
Oh, it was. Okay.
It was funny that something, I know, I lost a job. I can't remember what the job was. And I had a friend, Don Weeks, who worked at CFCF. And I called him up and I said, I'd like to come and visit over to a radio station. And on the way over, I said, you know what, Janet, do not leave there until you get a job. I don't know what I was saying. Anyway, he gave me a job.
Great.
I didn't leave there. He gave me a job and he hired me as Ted Blackman hired me. Don thought he would hire me, but he had to take me into Ted Blackman, had to say it was okay. So I went in and I got a job as a researcher on on the late morning talk show.
That's right, because
And
Blackman
so I
at that
worked
time
there
was
for a
the
year.
program director. Blackman was the program director at the time.
He was the program director, yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, that goes
So
back-
they hired me. I did that for a couple of years, and then they gave me the overnight talk show, which, by the way, is the best job I've ever had.
Really?
Overnight talk.
Oh,
Best
but Judith,
job
Janet,
ever.
some of the people, Janet, who used to call you, you realize there are a lot of crazies out there.
No, but no, you're missing the point. There are so many high-powered businessmen and like all sorts of people who are stressed out and can't sleep. So everybody thinks it's just crazies, but actually, I would do a program on how much should businessmen get paid on a daily basis, and I would only have businessmen call. They're all up. So it was the most diverse. It was the most diverse group I ever had. I did not like Radio Noon at CBC because it was all the people who weren't working.
Yeah.
That's right too. And it
Yeah.
was,
Yeah.
and it was always subjects like buttermilk biscuits, margarine or butter. Let's take our first caller.
Or day camp for kids.
Yeah, day
Yeah,
camp
yeah,
for kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Always something safe.
How to grow rutabagas.
Yeah,
Geez, Mark
exactly.
Cote joins us again.
Mark Cote.
But
But you've done so much
Yeah.
other stuff. Janet, we can't give you short shrift here because I was reading your bio on the Radical Rest Homes site, and you co-founded the first rape assistance center in the country. You've been a writer. You've done documentary films.
Yeah.
What are you doing as
Life is short and things
I guess
are
so.
boring.
Is the Rest Home Project your focus?
It's, yeah, well, I think, I get bored very easily. And if I'm doing something, I can't believe I'm still doing documentary film.
You're still doing that, are you?
Because, Well, I'm producing. Yes, I don't like it that much. It's a paperwork job, really.
Right.
It's not.
Yep.
But I like working with Josh Freed, who's who I usually I produce his film, so that's fun. But the radical rest homes thing came because at like about 10 years ago, I said, oh my God, like I can't do film when I'm 85 years old and I have no pension. So what am I going to be working at when I'm 85 years old? And you have to find something. I said, you know what, if I do this radical rest home, they'll really listen to me when I'm 85. So
Okay. So
that's what I'm doing. So that I like grow into. That's the perfect job for an old lady.
there you go. There's a practicality to it. I like that. I like that. That's
There's an
very good.
investment here.
Yep.
Listen, we were talking. You're originally from the Midwest, Ohio, right?
Oh, I am. You don't
Yvonne
want to hear
said,
anything more about that.
oh, okay, but no, but Yvonne said Akron, and I said no, it's not Akron.
Is it? Was I right?
No, it's not Akron.
Oh.
I'm from a little town called Oxford, Ohio.
Oxford. Okay.
And the claim to fame there in Montreal is it's Oxford, Ohio, where Miami University of Ohio is. But
Right.
my gym teacher was Joe Galat.
Oh, wow, the
he
Alouette
was
coach.
the coach of the Alouettes.
Oh.
Yes, and he was my gym teacher in high school.
Well, Miami of Ohio
There you
is down in the southern part of the state, right? Near Cincinnati?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
it's between Dayton and Cincinnati. Yes.
Ah, okay. That's where who was it? Who was the news director in WKRP? His mother was from Dayton.
Larry Nessman.
That's right.
Les Nessman.
Les Nessman.
Yeah.
Nessman, Les Nessman.
I hear
That's right.
Dayton is the most exciting city in Ohio.
It can be. Have you been back to Ohio recently? Have you had the urge to return to Ohio? Do you have family in Ohio?
Oh, I've got family in Ohio. I have to go back, but I haven't gone back for I guess for maybe about 3 years because I used to go back every year because my dad still lived there. But when he died, now I only have 2 sisters there, but I have 3 sisters in California. So when we only get together in California. I mean, if you had a choice between Ohio and California, where would you go?
I guess. I suppose.
Yeah, even if it's Fresno,
Okay. No.
Exactly. But it's better than that. It's Santa Cruz and Napa. I mean, come on.
Oh my God.
Oh,
That's
I'd like
lovely.
to. Now, would one enjoy being a fly on the wall when the political discussions begin around a table and a glass of wine in Napa, or are you all pretty well in the same camp?
Well, okay. So I have a sister who voted for Trump. And in 2016, well, she hated Obama. So it's the conversations got sticky around then.
Okay.
And then she voted for Trump. And we were like, all the rest of us, out of 6 girls, 1 voted for Trump, 1 won't talk politics. And the rest of us are like, really, Democrats are on the left. However, my Trump sister is now not Trump, not a Trump supporter. One of the reasons is because she stopped listening to Fox News. We did get her off Fox News. That made a big difference. And she's a nurse. And so she cannot stand what's going on around the pandemic.
I can imagine.
So that brought her out of the Republican camp. And I don't think she'll ever vote Democrat, but she's moving toward
Thank
them.
God. Well, it's
she
interesting.
might not.
She works in healthcare.
Yes.
But you're
Yes, she
sounding,
works in healthcare. She's
I'm sorry, Janet, maybe it is advancing
what?
age, but you're sounding more sanguine than I've heard you before. So you're settling into a live and let live kind of a
Sanguine.
philosophy, or is it just, or have you been drinking today?
Oh, well, I don't know if I'm sanguine. I might have to do something. I don't want to be sanguine. Maybe I'm not smoking enough pot.
Listen, I'm happy, all right? Leave me
I'll
alone.
get right
I'm
on that.
happy, okay?
I'll get right on it.
God, what do you think? I got to drive to Dayton for
Jesus,
God's
I don't
sake.
want to be sanguine. What's the matter with you? Oh, dear.
Especially that 4 hours
Oh,
getting through
Jesus.
Cleveland. Oh, God, you're a treasure.
Oh, it's good to see you. It's the connection's cutting out
Now,
on.
what happens with this? What do you do? Like,
Oh,
if
we
this is
sent,
a,
we
the
send
three
it
of
to
us
the-
are sitting here.
No, we send this to the Smithsonian. As soon as it's done, we fire it off to.
And then Bill Barr takes a look at it, and we can't go across to
Oh,
Plattsburgh.
no.
Yeah, and then we can't go across to Plattsburgh to get Genesee beer. It's awful. It's a gulag up here.
Are you?
God, you bring out the best in us.
Oh my goodness, you're the darlingest. You're the Ginchiest, I must say. Where are you in the townships or someplace right now?
But
or-
literally, what happens with it's called a vlog. I don't even know what that is.
But we're recording
A
this, and we're going to
vlog.
put it up on our Facebook page. And then, I mean, people were giving thumbs up when I indicated that you'd be on today. Will Aitken says hello, and a bunch of other people who know you were saying hi. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah. So,
Oh, that's so good.
so they
I
get
have
to
a
see you.
soft spot for Will.
Will's a terrific guy. We had Will on about a week and a half ago, I think, and got a lot of response. Will is doing well, and
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Oh, well, I'll
so-
have to go and look at some of those.
okay. Well, then I'll send
So
you.
it's sort of like,
It's like a little interview show
okay.
where we laugh at each other, and then that's it. Anyway,
It's called Grumpod, sweetheart, if you didn't know.
yeah.
And it's
It'll
been
be
on since
Oh, I
1958.
saw that.
know
I
you
saw
keep
the
up with
grumpy
things.
thing. I
the
thought
grumpy
that was
thing.
great.
So we figured that you would be a good fit.
Janet, we'll put it up on
Yeah,
Facebook.
yeah.
We'll put it up on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube.
Or you can
And
go to
we've all put it up on-
grumpod.com too. We have our own site, Grumpod, grumpod.com, and you'll see them all lined up in there.
Oh, okay.
You'll show up in about an hour. So there you go.
Janet, you produce
Oh,
films.
God.
You
I
don't-
love the
you don't-
name Grumpod. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Grumpod. I
Yeah.
love it.
I was thinking of Dave when
Perfect for you
when
guys.
I bought the domain.
Yeah. But Judith, Judith, I keep calling you Judith for some reason. Janet, you produce films. You don't know anything about this technology? I do.
No, she's a producer. She just sits and yells at people on the phone.
I'm a producer.
That's it. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. And fills out paperwork and, that kind of thing.
That's it.
Cost reports. It's so exciting. You
Yeah,
have
and it
no
hangs up.
idea. I yell at bureaucrats. Really? You want me to do that?
Yeah. Well, you're. Otherwise, you're okay. You're well. Your family's well, healthy. Everybody's fine.
My family is well. I have a 9-year-old granddaughter
Oh.
going on
God love
24,
you.
of course. Yeah, and they live upstairs from me, which is fantastic. I'm on the bottom floor. They're on the top floor. So, I'm going to move into a radical rest homes, but not until my granddaughter is maybe 12 or 13, because I figure she needs to be able to run down the back stairs and come to me when she hates her parents.
I see.
So,
Well, yes, there you are, Janet.
I can do that.
The calming influence, Nana. Yeah.
Another
The calming influence.
another very
The calm
practical approach to
influence.
life. All right, take care of yourself,
That's
darling.
what I thought. Okay.
We love you.
It was nice to see you guys.
Yeah, well, Janet,
Bye.
actually, the next time we're going to take calls.
Yeah, that's right. And try to rehearse what the answers are going to be.
We're gonna
Okay, I
take
will.
calls.
Okay.
Goodbye, sweetie.
Bye, darling.
Bye.
God, I love that woman. She's just
That's,
adorable.
that's Janet for you.
Yeah, and you know, it's appropriate that with Janet on, we had a 7-second delay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So.
for some reason, she's still there.
That seems appropriate too. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we'll just leave that still on right there. And
So, are you sending the kids to camp? Oh, she told me that story once about, I don't know, 25 or 30 years ago. I was on the floor because I did that phone in a number of times.
I never did Radio Doom.
And in the summertime too, right? And,
Yeah.
and she's right.
Oh, yeah.
Who's at home?
Yes. There we go. Please call us, please, at 514.
Remember the Buck Henry sketch on
That's right.
Saturday Night
Yeah.
Live with the Bank of Black Telephones?
Yeah.
And he had to get more and more ridiculous with his premises to get people to call. Nobody
Yeah.
called.
Bechamel, yes or no? Give us a call at 514.
Isn't she that actress from France? God.
Okay.
Well,
Well, that was
she
fun.
You're never disappointed with Janet.
I
And
needed
I've
that.
been in touch with, speaking of Josh, I've been in touch with Josh,
Yes.
and he's in the middle of a project, of course.
Very
but
busy.
he'd
Yeah,
like-
Josh.
He'd like to join us sometime.
Okay. Well, that's good. And I've got other irons in the fire too. And tomorrow, Peter Downing, I believe, right?
It is Peter. And
Yes.
you want to hear a rant?
Oh, is
Wanna
Peter
hear
in
a
the?
rant?
Oh yeah.
Oh, ever since, because Peter just sort of goes offline on Facebook for a while. You never see him, you think, oh God. But after the John Bolton book was written, Peter just, ba-doom.
Really? Because I don't know
Oh, yeah.
Peter very well. I've never worked with Peter. I just bump into him in the building once in a while, but that's about it. So, but
Great
well, that's interesting.
broadcaster.
Oh yeah,
Went on
absolutely.
to a long teaching career at Concordia, and really was innovative. He took his students up to Ottawa, took his students down to
Oh, good. Okay.
Washington, and-
All right.
Oh yeah, no, he
Always have time for
knows-
teachers. Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
All right.
And listen, you've got Janet's coordinates. Please thank her and a big hug.
I will. I'll send her a
just
little
am
note
So
and,
happy to see her.
Yeah.
She gave me faith in the day today.
Oh, she's
because I
me
had
too.
to see through all my wiring.
There you go. Oh, you see, you're turning into a techno geek now, and I'll have you
Well, I'll
all.
tell ya.
I'll have you walking around doing Zoom on your morning walk live before you know.
Well, my son Jeff says the favorite part of the Grumpod for him is the look on your face when things technically
Yeah, when
don't
things
complete-
start
yeah,
going
yeah,
into the
yeah.
dumper. Yeah, my gluteus maximus starts to twitch.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
but you hide it very well. Press a button. God.
Okay.
And
All right.
You know, nobody.
This was fun. We'll talk tomorrow.
Take it easy.
Bye.